Good. All righty, everybody. Welcome to Talking Real Estate with Champions Real Estate Team here at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Ambassador Real Estate Company. My name is Mark T. Wehner II. Joining me today is Russ Williams with Williams Mortgage. And so we jump on here over the lunch hour every Wednesday to kind of catch you up on the market stats of what's gone on over the last week and kind of keep you up to date on what's going on. So let's jump right into it. So give it a second for it to pull up here on Zoom when I share the screen here with you. All right. So how's the market today? So basically we had 443 new listings go live this last week, 329 new contracts get written, and 515 sold homes. So put that in perspective. Last week we had just over 500 new listings go live, and we had 376 new contracts written. And we had about 385 sold homes. So we're up in the sold homes category, but we're about just far enough out from Labor Day that we did see some of those contracts get to closing. And as we come towards the end of the month, typically you see a lot more closings towards the end of the month. As far as new contracts written, what is that telling us? We just had our mastermind meeting where we had about 15 top agents meet yesterday. Once a month that I meet with agents at Berkshire Hathaway. We kind of collaborate on what's going on, what everyone's seeing in the market. And kind of our general consensus is there's still a very strong buyer pool out there, but it's not as many buyers out in the buyer pool. And, with the selling side, so like giving you a little bit more opportunity for some of those homes that you may have missed out on if you were looking over the summer. So it's a great time to buy. From the selling perspective, the new listings going live, you still have those very strong buyers out there. The thing we're seeing in the marketplace is that if you're asking a premium for a price, your house better be in premium or mint condition. The buyers that are out there spending the money, they do not want to do any repairs if you're asking top dollar. Now, if you're got some updates that need to be done, maybe you don't, you price it accordingly. Some buyers are willing to do that. What we're seeing in the, move up buyers, so those people buying their second home or so after their starter home, that, maybe they bought that starter home, did some repairs, they're moving up in the second. They don't want to do repairs if they're paying top dollar. So those are the ones we're kind of seeing multiple offers on. We're not seeing as many multiple offers over the last couple of weeks as we're heading into the fall market. But it's like I said, it's still very strong market. It's more of a neutral market. We don't have that big discrepancy of ton of buyers, little homes. We're kind of getting a more of an even keel in that regards. And, those buyers that have been looking, they're educated and they know what their money will get them based on the previous couple months. So big picture of the marketplace here. Pull up this graphic here for you. Big picture on the Omaha Lincoln multiple listing service. We had just under 1,900 homes active on the marketplace. And then we had in Douglas and Sarpy County, so the more Omaha metro area, we had just over 1,000. And 620 or so existing homes. And then the new construction has gone up over the last couple of weeks. I think what we're seeing there is Celebrity Homes is having a lot of homes come on the market. And then also the new D.R. Horton, the national builder that came into town, they're starting to put some more houses in the marketplace. So it's kind of our months of inventory is 1.2. And then we got our average sold price went up a little bit to 293, was 292. Up about 10% from the previous month. So as we said, market's still very strong in that regards as we go through that. But so we'll jump in here with Russ Williams at Williams Mortgage and kind of get a good synopsis of what the market, the mortgage industry has been doing over this last week. So how's things been going, Russ?
The mortgage market is still very strong. We've seen interest rates move up just a little bit over the last week. Driven primarily due to inflationary pressures and a belief that the Fed is going to start what they call tapering, maybe as early as November. That is likely to push interest rates up a little bit more. I did see some projections for next year, and of course, looking into a crystal ball, it doesn't really exist, but the prognosticators are expecting that sometime by the end of next year, we could see interest rates in the upper threes to maybe approaching 4%. So that's anywhere from 0.5% to 0.75%, perhaps, maybe a little bit more above where we're at today. Still very competitive interest rates, though. As we've talked about before, Mark, that every 1% interest rates rise, your borrowing power is affected by 10%. So in the event that you're on the fence or maybe didn't win that offer early in the year, to Mark's point earlier, now is the time to jump back in to take advantage of potentially a more balanced market than what we've had through most of 2021, at interest rates that are still very close to what they have been throughout the first half of the year. So this is still a great time to buy a home. And as we talked about before, Mark, the likelihood is that we're going to see rates rise and probably see property values continue to rise, albeit maybe not quite as fast as what they have in the past.
Yeah, and I don't know if anyone follows, or if you're following on Facebook on our Champions Real Estate Team page. I posted something 5 years ago. It showed up in my Facebook memories of one of the market updates that we did. That in 2016 we had 2,600 homes active on the MLS, and that's even more indicative of the number of homes we had at that time, because that was just the Omaha MLS. That was not including Lincoln. So at that time, the MLS Omaha and Lincoln merged a couple of years ago. But so that 2,600 is now down to 1,900, so we're still less. But the thing that was a kicker on that is that the average sold price in 2016 was $203,000, and now we're at $293,000. So you had a $90,000 essentially jump in appreciation over the last 5 years, which I think is about 43% increase. Had you purchased a home 5 years ago, the old adage of, don't wait to buy real estate, buy real estate and wait. Those are those things that, well, the market's high, there's a bubble. We've touched on before, the numbers of, just the census numbers of the number of average age home buyers is increasing every single year. And the number of homes we have built has been, decreased over the last decade. So we're not keeping up with that demand, and so that's just one of those things that you take a look at the simple numbers of it. Ultimately, like you said, we don't have a crystal ball of what the market's going to do, or any other events that may take place between now and eternity of what's going on in the home market. But, that's just something to take into account, that, if you're thinking of waiting till spring, so is every other buyer, and if you're in an apartment and you have a lease until May, well, maybe check your lease agreement of what it would take to break a lease. And if you're going to save that 10% buying power, if interest rates do potentially go up, and, if house prices keep going up, you may save money in the end game. You may have to put money out on the front end, but on the back end, you'll hopefully be saving money in that regards. But ultimately, consult the real estate attorney as far as if you're looking at the lease or having it subleased or things of that sort. But that's just something that I take a look at, when I'm coaching my clients, to give them the options of, oh, I wish you would have told me that back in November, I should have bought a house. Well, here's the time.
Yeah. And it's, Mark, it's interesting. The number of cash, and this, we can go in a lot of different directions here, but the number of cash purchases are down to 5% of all sales right now. That's down from 25% earlier in the year, which means 95% of buyers are financed. What's interesting about that is I heard people say, Russ, I'm concerned that homes have gone up too much in value, but I want you to look at it from a different perspective. And I want you to look at it from a perspective of affordability. If we look at 2006, which people thought we were overvalued then, compared to 2020, the percentage of your income that is going towards your housing payment is actually lower now than what it was then, even though the home prices have risen dramatically, which suggests that affordability is better now than it was in 2006 at the height of the housing market before the crash. So having said that, we have low inventory now compared to high inventory then. This is a great market to buy a house, folks. Yep,
absolutely. And I know before we jumped on, you're kind of talking, there's a lot of people now thinking of the renovation loans, so that is something that if you do find a house and needs a little bit of TLC, there's potentially ways to wrap that into the loan or finance that so that you can do those upgrades and maybe not necessarily be money out of pocket in that regard.
People are particular. A Home and Garden Network is a great thing, but it also makes it tougher for guys like you, Mark, to find that exact home. So in the event you find something that maybe needs a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit rougher, those can in many cases be renovated into exactly what you want, as opposed to settling for something that might not be exactly what you were looking for. So ask Mark and his team to help look for TLC type properties for you, and we'll help renovate them.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I think that's probably good enough for today. As always, if you have questions, we're streamed out on our YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all the fun social media channels. If you comment on them, we'll try to touch base with you. If you have questions, comments, give us a holler. If you just want to have a one-on-one kind of consultation, be it on the mortgage side or just should we buy a house? Should we rent a house? Should we keep our house as an investment, pull that money out to buy our next house? There's a bunch of different options to use real estate to grow your wealth and that generational wealth. And I think that's something that, some agents out there are just in there to buy and sell real estate. Well, here at Champions Real Estate Team, we're here to coach you, on what to do and how you can grow that financial, the wealth aspect of it, and hopefully get some of that financial freedom down the road. So give us a holler. My number is 402-672-7670. My email is there, mark.wehner, the number 2 at BHHS or give Russ a holler at 402-289-8936, I believe. But yeah, if you have any questions, give us a holler, and we look forward to helping you. And we'll see you guys next week and catch you on the flip side, right?